Welcome to another episode of A Sandwich and Some Lovin'. I am Kellie Rantberry Evans, and I am very proud to be sitting next to and podcasting with my husband, Alan Evans.
Hello, I'm Alan.
And we are excited.
Hey, train in the house.
Oh, babe, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm so focused on getting going with this podcast that I stepped all over your intro, and I apologize.
It's not the first.
It won't be the last.
Certainly not the last, and that's okay, because you're in a hurry.
But not meant with any disrespect whatsoever.
You're in a hurry.
I am in a hurry. I'm running very behind.
Why are you in a hurry, and why are you behind?
I shouldn't have walked the dog today. That's, I think, in addition to my trainer bumping my workout back 45 minutes, trying to walk the dog because I haven't walked him in a couple days, and I needed to get him out and get some exercise, getting a shower to get ready to go, because I'm speaking on a panel tonight about fashion industry, social media, how it all blends together and affects each other. You know, since I've, owned an online business, of fashion business for less than 1 week.
You're being recognized
Obviously,
now as
I'm qualified to be on a panel.
You're being recognized now as a fashion maven and a business mogul.
Maybe I would not argue with you on that point, but I think, because I have been in the media for so long.
Are you a mogul?
I'm not a mogul, but I've been in the media for so long.
Can I be a mogul?
I know what you are.
What? What am I?
You're aggravating.
What am I?
No, but I think,
I'm sorry, babe.
What happened was they sent me a whole bunch of questions about marketing, and guess what my husband is? He's a professional marketer. So I forwarded Alan all the questions. I said, here, honey, answer these for me, and I'll read the answers, and then I'll try to spit them out in my language. And even Alan admitted these questions were hard.
They were like interview questions. Like if you if you were interviewing to be a marketing director somewhere, these are the questions they would ask you.
And I would not get the job.
So tell me what you think about upscale brands and their marketing strategy, including product launch events. Should that be part of the strategy? And would you compare and contrast that with a mid-tier brand?
He's not exaggerating much. That's really some of the questions. So I'm probably going to be, you weren't exaggerating much.
Let's talk about that.
What?
No, that's kind of what the questions were.
Yeah,
there were
they
things
were kind of like that.
Yeah.
So, when I read those questions, I was very overwhelmed, and I told Alan, I said I could sit there and kind of listen to the other people first and then piggyback on what they say, or I could try to sound like I know what I'm talking about. And once Alan kind of broke it down to me, I'm like, yeah, I agree with you on that point. So I don't feel like necessarily I am parroting you, even though it's exactly what I'm doing.
Hey, like a great man once told me, it's okay to get up in front of a bunch of people and not know what in the hell you're talking about. Just believe that you understand what you're talking about.
Right. You have to do it with authority.
Oh, yeah. You can go up there and say the sky's freaking pink. And as long as you believe it, they'll believe it.
And people be like, a certain shade of pink.
Yeah, some of it is pink, actually. Yeah.
So that's what I'm doing tonight, which has thrown everything off. Alan gets to be a little bit of stepdad duty, taking Emma Kellie to a volleyball camp, a clinic, trying to get those skills bumped up another notch. She's doing so great and actually enjoying volleyball. I would like her to learn how to do an overhand serve. I want my daughter to be a little badass server. I want that for her.
I'm trying to think of one of those women professional sand volleyball players I used to watch that were so good.
Yeah.
Misty May and...
Trainer.
And somebody Trainer, yeah. May and Trainer. They were that duo that was freaking awesome.
Yeah.
They were really fun to watch. Women's volleyball is fun to watch.
Well, sand volleyball and indoor court volleyball are two different animals.
Oh, that's totally different. Yeah. But still, the athlete you have to be to do that.
Yeah, the athlete.
What's wrong with athlete?
It's not athlete, it's athlete.
I'm from the South. I can say athlete if I want to.
Do you have pet peeves about stuff like that? I usually don't correct anybody, but I did it just because it's my husband. Because what I've learned in life is people love to be corrected. And I'm saying that with sarcasm because I have to point that out.
Oh, we'll get into that. Let's get into that. Because I don't think
a lot of people get sarcasm sometimes. So I'm saying that with sarcasm because people really don't like to be corrected.
Babe, but Kellie knows I do this as a bit. I say words off so you'll either, number one, say, why are you saying it like that? Or correct me, or just shake your head.
But my things are athlete, because there is no in there. It's just athlete. Cavalry and cavalry are often mispronounced.
Emphasis?
Because the cavalry is what rides in,
what about
to
emphasis?
Save the day, and cavalry is what saves you. Emphasis. And then the other one is jewelry and realtor. Because I hear people say jewelry and realtor.
I say jewelry.
jewelry. It's
Jewelry.
jewelry.
I say jewelry.
I know sometimes it's kind of a throwaway, jewelry, but I never say jewelry. And I don't say realtor.
You know what else
Drives me nuts.
people used to give me a bunch of heck about? Milk.
You do say milk weird.
Milk.
Milk.
It's milk.
It's milk.
Milk.
Yeah, you're saying it
No,
weird.
I milk.
But that's like Kid Craddock used to say, he couldn't say Gulf. He'd say golf. So he'd say the Gulf of Mexico because he couldn't say Gulf. Like you can't say milk. And I think you're doing it on.
No, I'm
like
not. I say it milk.
Can you say sing?
Sing.
Can you say MILF?
Whoa.
Can you say it?
I don't know what that is.
Say it.
MILF?
Okay, now just say milk.
Milk.
No, you're doing that on
I knew a
purpose
guy
now.
who used to say donkey. No kidding, babe. It was an old boss of mine. He would say donkey.
Donkey?
Donkey. And then you remember President Bush? W? He would say nuclear. Not
Yeah, it's hard to say it
nuclear,
wrong.
Not nuclear.
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 Nuclear. That's it. Nuclear. It's hard to say something wrong when you know how to say right. Nuclear. Yeah, he'd say that.
Yeah.
It's nuclear, Mr. President. Sorry. But
Yeah.
my friend Tommy Jean, her aunt Janie, may she rest in peace. So funny. She couldn't say oxygen. She'd say oxygen. Oxygen.
Oxygen.
Oxygen. Cute. Anyway.
Well, there we go.
Moving past
Fun
that.
with words.
Hopefully I don't mispronounce anything tonight. We will get to, the whole thing about the sarcasm. Get to that in a minute. We're also going to talk about, I forgot to talk about my experience at my daughter's career day last week. We do need to get to that. And
I had a bro date.
you had a bro date with our podcast family member, Sam from New Zealand.
My man. We mentioned Sam every once in a while here on the podcast. Sam comes all the way from New Zealand.
Such a sweet man.
Really, really nice guy. And I got to know him a little bit. So we'll go through our bro date. We had a fun bro date. But we'll get into that.
He passed through our lives like a ship in the night, but he'll be back again one day.
Well, he's one of those dudes, like, after you spend a little time with him, you're like, oh, man, you got to leave. Kind of be fun hanging out next week, too.
I know, right? He's so nice.
Yeah, he was
But
really fun.
Isn't that true of the majority of our podcast family? Let's be honest.
Yeah.
A couple of you aren't so nice, and you know who you are.
Whoa. Who?
I'm just teasing. But everybody can't be nice. Not everybody in the world.
No.
We'd like to think they are, but some people just aren't.
Right.
All right. One of the things that is super nice that we have introduced into our lives, Alan and myself in our household, is Grove. We have been we were so happy when they came on as a sponsor because honestly, that's what introduced us to grove.co because people want to make healthier choices. And I think as long as it's easy, right? People would recycle more if it was if it was easy. They would use healthier products in their home. They would eat healthier things if it was easy and not ridiculously expensive. And that's what I love about Grove because in one spot, one online shopping spot, you're getting things that don't have a lot of those chemicals in them. They're natural products. They're biodegradable, sustainable products that are good for the planet. And why wouldn't you want to do something good for the planet? Unless you're just really being a butt. Right? And I guess there are people out there like that.
There's a lot of butts out there.
So this isn't for you. This is for all the rest of us who want to do good in this world. Did you know there is more microplastic in the ocean than there are stars in the Milky Way? That is shameful. So say goodbye to single-use plastic with some simple, sustainable swaps for your home. And they have them now at Grove. Now, Grove has a sustainable swap set. Everything you need to get started. They have a bamboo straw set. They have reusable sandwich and snack bags for your kids' lunch boxes, reusable glass hand soap dispensers. So you just keep filling them back up. Why do you have to keep using, just tossing the plastic? You can reuse it. And also a walnut scrubber sponge. And for a limited time, our listeners can get all of that for free with your first purchase. Now, of course, when you go on Grove, what we recommend to purchase, anything from the Mrs. Myers line. I am in love with Mrs. Myers. I use her all-purpose cleaning spray. I use her body wash, the hand soap, the dish soap. I am a Mrs. Myers walking poster child. But they have all the other names you love too, like Burt's Bees, 7th Generation, and that too. But again, to get this sustainable swap set, you can get it with your first order, plus shipping is fast and free with your first order. So join me, join Alan, and thousands of others helping the environment with Grove's sustainable swaps.
Now, and for a limited time, listeners who go to grove.co grove.co/lovin. That's LOVIN. Get the Grove Sustainable Swap Set free with purchase.
That's huge.
It's huge. Plus, you'll get free shipping and a free 60-day VIP trial. All you got to do is go to grove.co/lovin, LOVIN, for this exclusive offer. One more time, that's grove.co/lovin, LOVIN. Love Grove.
We do. We do. All right. What should we dive into first? Why don't we start with a happy story? Tell about your bro date with Sam from New Zealand.
Okay. Well, there's this fella named Sam.
He's from New Zealand.
Dugan, and he's from a town in New Zealand called Wellington. You know of any towns in New Zealand?
Honestly, other than Auckland, I don't know anything.
He's from Wellington. And Wellington, he told me, is a town of about 900,000 people. It's a big city. So he's from...
Wow, you think I'd know more about that?
Yeah, he's from a bigger city in New Zealand, and he works for the New Zealand government, which happens to be one of the biggest employers there in Wellington. And as he described, we went to a sports bar and watched the Jets game because he's a Jets fan. He loves American football, but he's a Jets fan.
Did he say why he was drawn?
I said, how did you get to be a Jets fan of all the teams? He said, well, and I wish I could do an entire Australian/New Zealand accent, but I can't.
Are Australia and New Zealand, they're very similar, right?
Very similar, yeah. But he was saying when he was a kid, he and his brother, I think his parents gave him a bunch of these little pennants, football pennants.
Yeah.
And for whatever reason, he said he was just attracted to the Jets logo. So he started following the Jets. And then I think what he told me was he got to visit New York one time, which further kind of increased his...
Sealed the deal.
His love for the Jets. So he's just a Jets fan, and he's been a suffering Jets fan because they haven't won squat since Joe Namath was there, basically.
Well, have they had a better record than the Cowboys this season?
No.
Even worse?
Yeah.
Well, after the Cowboys won the other night, we're all like, Super Bowl again.
Yeah. No, the Jets are one of the worst teams in the league.
Oh, that's too bad.
But anyway, he calls me up and says, or texts me and says, hey, you want to go watch a game? I couldn't make the Cowboys game. That was on Sunday. That's okay. He went out there by himself and got a general admission ticket and watched the game. He said he got really tired of standing, though.
Yeah.
So he left at halftime.
Oh.
He said his back started to hurt.
Now you're standing on concrete.
Now, let me, even before I talk about our bro date, let me just describe Sam for you. Sam could not be a nicer guy.
He's a great big teddy bear.
Big
guy.
Teddy bear.
He was about what, 6'4", 6'5"?
He's a man of hardy stock.
6'5", maybe?
He's taller than me by several inches.
You're 6'1".
So I'd say he's 6'4", 6'5". Big, like linebacker build to this guy.
Yeah.
Okay. He's a big dude. So I didn't realize he was this big until I just caught a glimpse of him at the launch party. He came to the launch party. But I didn't really get to talk to him too much that night because we were so busy running around. Well, I told Kelly, I said, when I go pick him up for the bro date, I'm going to get him in the Prowler.
And I was like, are you sure?
Yeah, it'll be fun. He'll love riding around in the Roadster.
Because the Prowler it's a little 2-seater car, and you kind of fall into it. It's kind of like a bucket.
It's like being in a bathtub.
Yeah, it really, really is.
Yeah.
I feel more comfortable in it than I did the Slingshot. I feel safer in it because I'm enveloped by like a bathtub, like you said.
Right. Like in the Prowler, if you look to your left or right as you're in the car, like you can just barely see over the door.
It's like you're in a foxhole, like you'd see people fight in World War II. You're just kind of your eyes peeking out.
Right. I mean, you're really cramped in there. So anyway, I went and picked Sam up at his hotel, and he came walking out. And
Took one look at it and was like, no.
He was laughing when he came out. He could hardly fit in the thing. He had to.
I told you.
He had to get one leg in and then kind of turn around and just fall in on his bottom.
That's the way I get in.
And then pull the other leg in.
That's exactly the way I get in.
But as usual, Sam had a gift for me. He gave me a couple of hats from one is a rugby team in New Zealand called the All Blacks.
Yeah.
And he gave me a jersey. And he gave me, the little the Pop Rocks dolls, those dolls that have the big heads. Well, I have the Metallica set of those dolls.
Where are they? I thought they were in here.
I think they're in the game room.
Oh, yeah, you did move them.
But he gave me the Metallica, it's called the Lady Justice doll. And it's if you're a Metallica fan, I know most of you aren't, but there's an album called And Justice for All. And Lady Justice is on the cover of that album. Well, that's the doll from the artwork
very thoughtful
on that album. Yeah, so he gave me that. And luckily, I had a gift for him. I gave him some things. I gave him a deck of cards that I really like, and I gave him this commemorative coin. So we exchanged gifts. That was fun.
And the sandwich and some love and hat.
Oh, I gave him some sandwich and some love and gear.
We had a leftover podcast family vacation T-shirt.
Yeah, double X.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he got the double X, which I think will fit him just fine. And so he was real appreciative of that. So then we motored on over to this place called Social
Club? Oh, you went to Social Sidecar.
Social Sidecar because the traffic was so bad going up the tollway because we had a tornado move through here the other night. And I think the traffic has been really goofed up on the tollway. So I said, hey, dude, let's just, if you don't mind, let's call an audible. Instead of going to Shark Club in Frisco, let's go down to Social Sidecar. It's a cool place. That's where Bad Influence Jeff and I watch the Cowboys. And he's like, yeah, sure, whatever. He's like, whatever.
Well, he doesn't mean anything. Shark Club doesn't mean anything to him.
He was cool. So we went there, and we just ended up watching about 3/4 of the game. We drank about 28 beers and shared some appetizers. And his drink of choice from the New Zealander was Modelo. He's like, I can't get this in New Zealand.
Oh, we have a fridge full of it here we can't get rid of.
He says,
you should have brought him by the house.
He says, I love Modelo and I love American beer. He was telling me that. I thought was interesting. And he told me about his job a little bit and what he does.
What does he do?
Well, he works for the government, and the department he works with regulates all the things that come into New Zealand. Like you can't take certain
imports.
fruits and vegetables and
What'd you call
animals and things into New Zealand.
Imports?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he works on a team that kind of manages
Interesting.
that part of it. And I asked him, I said, why do you always come? I'm glad you're here, but why do you come to America and then go to the Kid Craddock Morning Show, maybe every couple of years? He goes, well, when I was younger, this was maybe 15 years ago, he said, I worked in New Orleans and I was just here for about 3 months. And he said, I couldn't drive. I didn't have a driver's license and I was only going to be here for a while. So I had a buddy who would take me to work. And he said, every morning, my friend would have on the Kid Craddock Morning Show because he was in New Orleans and y'all are syndicated in New Orleans, right? So he said, I started listening to the Kid Craddock Morning Show. And he said, one time, I can't remember exactly what the story was, but Kellie told a story. And he said, I was laughing so hard that I was bent over and, my stomach was cramping.
Oh, that makes me so happy.
Because I was laughing so hard. He said,
that's the biggest compliment anybody can ever give me is I make them laugh. I love that.
That's what he said.
I love
so he said,
that.
That's how I got hooked onto the show. And he said, at the time, streaming was just starting. So he said, I figured out a way when I got back to New Zealand to stream the Kid Craddock Morning Show, so I could still listen.
That's
and he said,
nice.
so I've always listened to every show in the morning. And he said, now when you started the podcast with Kellie, now I've listened to every podcast.
That's so sweet.
Isn't that cool?
That's so sweet. Why did I not ask him that question? You are a better interviewer than I am.
Oh, I was just trying to get to know him.
That's really nice. I should have gone on that bro date.
Yeah, you should have. We had a great time.
There was no room for me in the Prowler. That's my excuse.
But Sam is
he's in Vegas right now. He
he's
left
in
us
Las
to go to
Vegas.
Vegas.
Yeah. He told me he went from Wellington to Sydney, and I think Sydney, Australia. Then I think he flew from Sydney, Australia to New York, and then went from New York to Dallas, and then is going from Dallas to
Vegas.
He's in Vegas now.
Yeah.
And he'll hang out there because he said he doesn't gamble, but he likes the shows.
The lights and
the
everything.
lights
It's
and
incredible.
And then he'll go from Vegas, I think, back to LA, and then I think LA back to Sydney, and then back to Wellington.
Wow. So he's just going around the globe like
Right.
a full, oh, wow.
And he said he does that every couple of years. That's what he does. And
well, next time he comes, we should, if we're still doing this podcast, knock wood, Lord willing, we should have like a big gathering because there's so many people in the podcast family that Sam interacts with on social media. We should have thought to do that, and we didn't.
Well, he couldn't have been a nicer guy.
I know.
And really, at the end of the night, I took him back, and I said, all right, dude, I don't know when I'll see you again. He's like, maybe another couple of years.
Oh, that sounds so sad.
I know.
But, really, I have friendships like that I don't see them but every couple of years. And then when you see them, you just pick right up where you left off, right?
Yeah. But Sam, thanks for hanging out with me.
Yeah, thanks for my hoodie. He got me a big zip up hoodie.
Yeah, had a great time.
So sweet.
It was really, really good time, and hope you're doing okay, man.
Yeah, he is a very nice man. We'll do that. 2 years.
Oh,
you can count on it.
One last thing. He told me he got to go to the station, and Robert let him come in while you
every day.
while you guys were doing the show. So he got to kind of hang out and walk around.
What did he think?
He loved it. He said he met Boss Man George.
Yeah.
I said, what'd you think of George? He said, he was real cool.
Did he think you did a good impression?
Yeah, he thinks I did a pretty good impression. And he said he met Cammie.
Yes.
He said he was thought Cammie was very attractive.
I know. That was
Sam's
awkward.
Sam's single.
I
by the way.
know. It was all awkward.
Was it awkward?
Cammie got real flustered.
She did?
Big Al embarrassed her and just all this stuff. It was
Why?
just because Al's inappropriate.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
Always.
My man. Yeah, that's true.
He embarrasses our purse provider. He embarrasses Cammie. He just doesn't.
Our purse provider?
Yeah, remember we told Zach.
I know.
Parker and I. Anyway, so that's your story.
That's my
that
story.
Was a good one.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun.
I'm glad. Well, real quick before I get into my career day story, did you hear me tell it already? My daughter's career day.
I did hear you tell that.
Pretend like you've never heard it before because I didn't tell it on the podcast. But for career day, a lot of these kids that were there supposed to be asking me questions, and some of them did about career and things like that. But you know what? They're probably going to have to look forward to in their future is, filling out resumes, applying for jobs. Maybe one of these days, these kids will be the owners of their own businesses, or they might be in human resources and in charge of hiring new people. And that's when they are going to find out the genius of ZipRecruiter.
ZipRecruiter.
Because hiring can be a challenge. As Codable co-founder Gretchen Hebner discovered, Gretchen needed to hire a game artist for her education tech company. Well, that sounds fun, but Gretchen knew it wouldn't be easy to find somebody to grow with her team, and that's why she went to ZipRecruiter, because ZipRecruiter doesn't depend on candidates finding you. It finds those candidates for you. Its technology identifies people with the right experience and invites them to apply to your job so you get qualified candidates fast. Now, Gretchen posted her job on ZipRecruiter, said she was so impressed with how quickly she found those qualified applicants. She also used ZipRecruiter screening questions to filter her candidates so she could focus on the best ones. And that's how Gretchen found a new game artist in less than 2 weeks. How many times have you had to drag it out? 2 weeks, done. And with results like that, it's no wonder that 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within that very first day.
And see why ZipRecruiter is effective for businesses of all sizes. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/sandwich. That's ZipRecruiter.com/sandwich. SANDWICH. One more time for good measure, ZipRecruiter.com/sandwich. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire.
And I would have told those kids all about it if they had asked, if they'd even come by my table. Because I was invited to go to my daughter's career day at middle school. Now, when my daughter was in elementary school, I was often asked, not necessarily to do career day. My daughter's elementary school liked to have readers come to the library. They were very encouraging of reading. And my daughter loves reading and loves the library and all that good stuff.
It's fundamental.
Of course, my daughter at that point in time just thought I hung the moon, and the teachers, when I would come down, I wouldn't even be reading to her grade level. She would want to be with me. So the teachers would let her out of class to come sit with me. And she was so proud to be my daughter, to be Kellie Rantberry's daughter. My, how times have changed. No, she is sometimes. But, she would sit there and she was thrilled. She'd hold my hand and we'd take pictures of all the kids. It was great. But now she's in 7th grade, and basically everything I do embarrasses her. Breathing too hard around her friends embarrasses her. Like today, I picked her up from school in my pajamas because I'm getting ready to go to an event. I had to take a shower and all that, and I'm not wearing a bra. I'm literally just driving in the car without a bra. My daughter about had a heart attack. Nobody's even looking at me. Everything I do embarrasses my kid. Okay. So when I get the email from the coordinator of Career Day, it said, would you come? And I said, before I even responded to Emma Kellie, would you be embarrassed are you okay? This is what I said. Would you be okay with me doing Career Day at your school? And she said, as long as you don't embarrass me. Well, perfect. I think I can do that if I don't breathe incorrectly and I wear a bra. I won't embarrass my daughter. Okay. But the lady, lovely lady, this is nothing against her. She said it started at 8:30. Well, I have a job that has me working and, I'm on the air until 10 a.m. I said, but, it's on a Friday, so I can scoot out of there maybe a little bit early, and I'll be there probably 10:30 at the latest. 10:30 I can get there. And so she said, that's awesome. We'll take it. So she said, we're doing it different this year than normal. We're setting up all these different tables in the library and you are at your own table and the kids can come around and meet you and talk to you and ask you questions. Okay, that's fine. I'm good with that. And then I got the schedule and it said, basically the schedule was 8:30 to 12:30. And then there was a 45-minute lunch break and then back at it until 3:30. And I said, excuse me, so are these in shifts? Because, at lunch I would just leave. Mm-hmm. She said, no, we were hoping you stay to 3:30. Mm-hmm. I said, I can't do that. I don't want to do anything that I love doing for 5 hours. You know what I'm saying? So I said, I probably got a lot going on. We just launched Emma, Kellie, and me. I said, I'll stay like 2 hours and then I'm going to have to scoot at the lunch break. I can't be there all day. It wouldn't work. So anyway, so she said, that's fine. Stay as long as you can. I said, I can stay as long as 12:30 is what I can do. So I get there, and of course, all these other business owners and representatives and managers and PR people, they had been there since 8:30. And I walk in, and the lady meets me. And she goes, "Hey, we have you in the back. We have you in this back table over here,
The back?
the very back of the room." Well, I was the last one there. I'm like, I get it. I'm the last one here.
Yeah, but you're Gracie Award-winning Kellie friggin' Rantberry.
Kids don't care. So they don't, it's like just a piece of paper lying flat on the table. So if you're coming at me from across the room, you just see me sitting there. You can't see my sign. You can't see who I am because it's a piece of paper lying flat on the table. You have to come up and look down at it to see, oh, Kellie Rantberry.
So they didn't have tents
Friday morning show. There was no tents.
Or
but you know what?
Signs taped to the tables or anything?
That was on me. The onus was on me to bring merch.
They put the anus on you?
Well, see, I'd never done it this way before, so usually I just show up and
Why
talk.
was the anus on you?
So anyway, other people apparently knew to do this, and they brought like these 3D presentations and stuff, and I'm just me. But see, I know how career days go with me because all kids ever ask is, who's the most famous person you've met?
Have you met Taylor Swift?
What
about Justin Bieber?
Who's the meanest celebrity you've ever met? Who's the nicest person you've ever met? Those are the questions I get.
Are you on TikTok?
I don't get asked that.
Oh.
So anyway, I know how it's going to be. So I'm sitting in the back of the room, and there's a class change every class period or 20 minutes or something. They're bringing in new kids in and out, and I'm sitting there in the back of the room. Hear that silence? Yeah, that's what I heard too. Nothing. Nobody came by my table. I was like, well.
Oh wait, yeah. Keep going. You heard. It was just like that?
Yeah. Well, there was chatter amongst themselves, but not to me.
Okay, so you're standing there.
I stood up. I was like, well, they just need to, I need to stand up so they can see me. But, I'm on the radio, so not a lot of people know who I look like. And, maybe they just don't care.
But can I just mention just one thing real quick? Mm-hmm. I've probably spent, I'd say, 1/10 of my life standing with my arms crossed in front of a trade show booth
where nobody stops,
with a bunch of uninterested people just kind of walking by. So I feel your pain. Okay. I understand this. Right. I get it.
But I have a pretty interesting job, and I would think kids would at least want to come by and ask me if I've met Justin Bieber. It wasn't happening. So I stand up for the first round of kids, and some kids kind of come over and read my thing and look up at me and keep walking. Okay, they're shy. And there's like a police officer over there. He's doing a presentation. That's great. Somebody with a restaurant over there has like all these billboards with fast food pictures. They're doing great. There was an artist there that actually was doing hands-on stuff. That was a big hit. And I'm just sitting there with my piece of paper that says Kellie Rantberry on the table. So that shift comes and goes. Same thing second time. And I'm like, I'm embarrassed a little bit. So I decided to go Instagram Live just to show everybody when I tell this story that I'm not lying, that nobody is coming up.
But you weren't horrified.
No, I was just a little bit embarrassed and uncomfortable. I wasn't horrified. That would be extreme.
Right, okay.
So second shift comes. I think one girl comes and asks me for my autograph. I'm like, thank you. Thank you for salvaging what's little left of my ego. So I did that. She didn't really have any questions for me. And then the third shift comes. I'm like, what is going on? My daughter comes down to see me because she's having an allergy attack. They don't give medicine at school. I have her allergy medicine with me. Mm-hmm. So I give her that. And she's even like, what's going on? Even Emma Kellie.
Even she recognized the vacuum?
Nobody was over. So she sat down with me for a minute. She had a hall pass. She said, well, I can stay for a minute and sit with you, because she felt so bad for me.
Jeez.
That is how bad it was. My own daughter Yeah, I was embarrassing her, but for the wrong reason. I was embarrassing her because she suddenly realized none of her friends care that her mom's on the radio. So anyway, finally my daughter leaves and I still have to sit here for another like hour and a half. I'm like, this is going to be the longest 2 hours of my life. I've probably spent longer.
You should have had me negotiate an appearance fee for this.
Right. It's public school, honey. They don't have the funds.
Oh,
it's fine.
Okay.
So at this point, during a shift change, this very lovely lady comes up to me and she's laughing. I have to tell you what's happening. She said, you were supposed to be at the front table by the door and I was supposed to be at this table, but I had to switch places with you because I need a power source for my presentation.
No, wait a second. As you describe this, was she nanny booing you?
No, she was laughing. She thought it was hilarious.
Oh, okay. It sounded like she was kind of being smug
No, she's
about
laughing.
it.
No, she's laughing.
Okay.
And she's making pleasant conversation.
Oh, okay. She
said, and it's so funny because all the kids keep coming up to me and asking, "Are you Kellie Rantberry?" I'm like, that's funny because none of them are asking me.
Yeah.
Because you know why?
Because you had bad real estate.
Well, what happened was now I had the proof that I had been sabotaged. Not only that, the kids are handed a map when they walk in the room, and it has a map of where everybody's sitting. You know where I'm sitting? I'm sitting at the waste management disposal table. That's who they think I am. They think I am waste management or waste disposal management.
Well, I'm here to tell you.
And she's up there at the Kellie Rantberry radio personality table right by the front door.
Well, listen.
And I'm in the back left.
If I may interject, I would submit to you that waste management disposal
is way more important than what I do.
Is very, very important.
It's way more important than what I do. Imagine, honest to God, people, if there were not people in garbage collection, if there were not people in sewage waste management, we would be overrun with disease and filth. These people do God's work.
Yes.
I totally believe that 100% with my heart.
Yes.
But I was sabotaged.
So then why are you getting upset about it?
Because I sat there for 2 hours.
Why are you talking like that?
Because I'll stop. So anyway, that's what happened.
I'm sorry, babe.
By the end of my 2 hours, because I was about to leave, Emma Kellie's volleyball friends, I guess it was their turn, and Emma Kellie told them I was all there. My poor mom, nobody's talking to her. So literally 10 minutes before I'm done, like 10 kids from Emma Kellie's group, a couple of the guys, some of the volleyball player girls, they came and hung out. I can't even talk. I'm so flustered. They came and hung out with me for the last little bit of it. And then Emma Kellie got me. She said, before you leave, can you please run by my science class? Because for career day, the science teacher she loves, his wife is a nurse. And for her career day presentation, she was teaching all the kids how to do CPR to that staying alive.
It's a really great skill. Yeah.
Where you do the beats to the staying alive. And so Emma Kellie wanted me to go down and I hung out there just for a little bit. But that was my career day experience.
That's tough, babe. You just got a bad draw. I mean, you had a bad table. And there were
I had a great table.
Well, where you were standing was not good, and the instructions on how to find you were accurate,
They were
but
flawed.
you weren't there. Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
So that's what happened.
I'm sorry, boy. But yeah, I've got a lot of experience standing there at a trade show booth, and everyone's it's like chirp chirp. You're like, what's the matter?
And I feel so
How
bad
come no
when
one will talk to me?
when I go to some of these events, and what happens is if I make eye contact, I'm suckered in, and I end up buying crap. And that's really bad.
You know
that's why I try not to make eye contact. And my daughter thinks I'm being rude. I was like, honey, I encourage manners, speaking, thank you, please. I said, but it's a different thing when you're walking by kiosks and trade show booths. You cannot make eye contact, and you have to go temporarily deaf and pretend you don't hear them and just keep walking, because I am that person that $500 later, just to get away from them, I have wasted my money. That's me.
You know what you needed to draw traffic into your trade show booth?
A candy jar.
A magician.
Yeah, next time.
That's how I got into magic. You know this, right?
Yeah.
I don't know if I've told our podcast.
You haven't, but you
family
told me.
this
You can
story.
tell them, though.
Well, the company I used to work for, we did a big trade show every year in Orlando or Vegas. Flip-flop. It's called the International Builders Show. Huge. I mean, you've got like Kohler there, Lowe's, Home Depot, big companies setting up these giant booths.
And of course, Lennox had to be there in the mix. Alan was the head of marketing for Lennox Heating and Air for many years when I started dating him. He's still doing that.
So we did I think our booth was 60 by 50 or 50 by 50. It was a good size booth.
That's big.
Had all our products and stuff in there. But we would.
You're saying feet, right?
Feet, yeah.
Not inches, because that'd be really tight.
No, feet. But we would hire a magician. And his name was David McGee, and he became a friend of mine. And David would do a show I used to give him so much crap. We hired him to do a show every hour. And sometimes he'd be goofing off or doing something he shouldn't be doing, and he'd do a show like every hour and a half or something like that. But anyway, we'd hire him, and he'd bring in these big crowds into the trade show.
He'd slide a hand up close magic, so people would have to come up close. And then you get, hey, you want to buy an air conditioner?
Right, and part of his bit was he knew a little bit about the marketing, and he could talk about that stuff. But yeah, anyway, that's just a little side note. You needed a magician.
And a candy jar.
And a candy jar.
You know what I found out at my daughter's school? Because kids are coming up to me at the end when they were actually my daughter's friends. They're all smacking gum.
Ew.
I said, y'all are able to chew gum in school? And they are. Isn't that shocking?
Really?
They are allowed to chew chewing gum.
We couldn't do that in the day.
I know.
There was no food or anything, drinks or anything.
Right. They were all chewing gum, which I thought was, I said, I guess as long as y'all don't abuse it and, the principal's not stepping in gum and finding it under desks, I guess that's okay.
So wait a second. If you're a teacher, you're okay standing in front of the class and you're looking out in the audience here or the class and there's people chewing cud in your class?
Let me tell you, if I think about chewing gum too long, I get that quiver in my throat like I'm going to gag. I used to chew gum. I was obsessed with Big Red gum. I loved Big Red, that cinnamon gum. But I have a really bad problem, and my brother has it too, where we get canker sores a lot.
Ew.
Yeah, those mouth ulcers. Really bad, painful ones. And on top of that, I developed that TMJ thing where my jaw was, I got to call the dentist about getting my mouth guard. I just remember when I said that. I had that TMJ thing. So I had to give up chewing gum. And now the thought of chewing gum makes me gag. The other night, my breath was so bad. Somebody offered me like a little chiclet to chew. And I said, okay, I'll just chew it for a minute to get this nasty taste out of my mouth. I took about 3 chews and I thought I was going to vomit. That's how bad my gag reflex is with chewing gum now. That's weird, isn't it?
Gag
you know who
reflex.
else is really turned off to chewing gum?
Who?
Oprah. It drives her nuts. She said it's because I think her grandmother or one of her relatives when she was little I'm going to throw up telling it. I'm sorry, I had to take a minute to swallow. Would take her used gum and would stick it on a cabinet. And so there's all this chewed up gum. There are walls in certain tourist destinations where the big thing for tourists is to stick their gum, and the walls are of gum.
It's in Seattle, I think, right?
Disgusting.
That is kind of disgusting. I'm not a big gum chewer.
And just the thought of it, just chewing something like that.
Yeah.
Oh, I can't.
I guess when I was a kid, I chewed some.
I did.
Remember the ones
obsessively.
remember the ones you'd unwrap and they were in the red, yellow, and blue wrapper?
Yeah, like Hubba Bubba or Bubblicious.
Yeah, and you'd unwrap them and they had the little cartoon in there.
Bazooka.
Was that Bazooka?
Bazooka.
And there was a little cartoon
Bazooka
scene
Joe.
in there. Is that what that was?
Yeah.
We get those at Halloween. And then I like Big Red also. But then I think my favorite was Juicy Fruit.
Yeah, Juicy Fruit. The smell of Juicy Fruit makes me gag too.
Give me the Juicy
The
Fruit.
smell of Juicy Fruit makes me gag. I'll tell you one time when I was so obsessed with chewing gum, when they came out with Hubba Bubba and Bubblicious, we went on a field trip. We had to take I was a cheerleader for the basketball team. We had to go drive down to Charleston, and on the way back, I'm chewing this bubble gum. I chewed it for so long, the bubble gum disintegrated in my mouth.
Gross.
Have you ever had that happen?
No.
That's how obsessed I was. It literally melted and disintegrated in my mouth. I chewed it that long.
Do you remember the ones that you would chew and they had the burst of liquid inside?
Yes, those
you chew
are
them
called,
and then it just explodes in your mouth.
Oh gosh, what were those called?
The juice explodes in your mouth.
Yeah, I can't remember the name of them right now. They weren't called Squirt. That's a drink.
The squirt juice
it would
exploded
squirt
in your mouth. Right.
Oh man, I can't remember. But I'll look it up because that's going to bother me. Okay, let me write down. I'm taking notes about what we're talking about on the podcast today because I've got to do the description. Gum disgusts me.
Yeah.
That's my note.
And then remember, I'm sure everybody or a lot of people remember the Big League Chew. Remember that?
Yeah.
Remember those cartoon characters on the front of those packages?
Are they still making them? Because I know that's probably.
You can still get
well,
it.
I would think that's probably real
What?
politically incorrect.
Why?
Because you're encouraging kids to chew.
How?
Because you're making it look like dip and chew is fun. And, the candy cigarettes was encouraging kids to smoke.
Candy cigarettes.
You don't remember candy cigarettes?
Never heard of that.
Candy cigarettes were the best. They were like little sugar sticks, and they were tipped red on the end so a kid could pretend they were smoking.
Now, that's not cool.
Well, Big League Chew is chewing tobacco. It's simulating chew.
It's just gum and strips.
But it's simulating chew, Big League Chew, like the players. You can get mouth cancer from chewing. Anyway, yeah, don't y'all remember the cigarettes? And some of them, they'd even have like a little bit of powder that if you blew, the powder would shoot out at the end.
Hey, is
this just a South Carolina thing?
Can you clarify something for me? And I should know this as a man, but is snuff and chewing tobacco, that's not the same thing. Chewing tobacco is like leaves that you chew, right? Now, you want to talk about something that make me gag. Thinking about that, like in a spittoon, putting that old brown stuff in your mouth and then getting that old brown, then you get that little, I used to, babe, this is, when I was a teenager, I used to play golf with a golf pro, and he was kind of a mentor to me. He was an older guy, and he would ride around in a golf cart, and I'd walk and he'd ride in the cart, and we'd play together, and he would chew. His cheek looked like a chipmunk.
It was distended, yeah.
Full of chewing tobacco.
Yeah.
And he had a thing on the floor of the golf cart, and every once in a while he'd do a big spit into that thing, and then
the dribble.
And then the dribble on his chin was always there. And I remember as a kid thinking, wait, I don't understand this. Like, what?
They get addicted, honey.
Yeah, like, why is he doing that?
I don't know. My Uncle Don, rest in peace, he used to chew constantly. He always, but the spit, what happened, you get like the spray would be all over him. And raspberries, you didn't leave without hugging and kissing everybody goodbye on the cheek. I did have an incident with another uncle. We don't need to go there. But I would kiss him. I remember I'd kiss him on my cheek, on his cheek, and it would be covered in tobacco spit. I was like, oh, Lord. But you had to, show respect by kissing on the cheek and giving a hug.
None of the Evanses were, well, I can't say that. I think my father smoked for like everybody did in the 70s for a little while. My grandfather smoked.
Yeah.
He
smoked
a
lot of smokers.
He smoked almost his entire life.
We had a lot of smokers in my family. But that back then, my mother smoked when she was pregnant because they just, well, I mean, everybody smoked and it wasn't all the big deal, I mean, it wasn't, my friends my age, we'd tell stories about my mother smoked. One of my friends, his mother was water skiing at 8 months pregnant. Another one was taking diet pills because she didn't want to get too fat when she was pregnant. I mean, this is the kind of stuff that, because people didn't realize that was affecting the baby back then. Different time, different season of life. On game shows, they used to give big cartons of cigarettes as game show prizes. If you watch some of those classic black and white game shows on the Game Show channel, which I love, those classic ones. Anyway, I've gone way off course.
Well, there's chewing tobacco talk.
There's chew tobacco talk. And I didn't answer your question. I think stuff and chewing tobacco are two different things. I think. I'm not really very well versed on snuff. But you know what I am well versed on?
Yeah, I do. A lot of things.
The royals.
Yep.
Meghan Markle, breaking my heart. They have that documentary. I think it's going to air Thursday night. So by the time you listen to this podcast tonight, I'm not really sure. I don't remember what network. ABC, NBC, CBS. One of those. It's going to air the documentary of Harry and Meghan's trip to Africa. And, Harry has finally taken a stand and said, we are now going to sue people who are coming after my wife. I love that. It's so sexy when a man stands up for his woman and her integrity. And the reporter asked Meghan, how are you doing? And she's fighting back tears. She's like, nobody hardly ever asks me how I'm doing. But honestly, it's been really hard. And she said, I was vulnerable, pregnant. I just, when you're vulnerable and you're not feeling your best when you're pregnant, your hormones are crazy. She said, I kind of knew, I was warned by everybody about how bad it was but you don't know until you're in it. And she said, she just wasn't prepared for all the lies. How do you defend yourself against just blatant lies, even when they don't know they're lies? And she just wasn't prepared. She just said it's just not fair. And then Wendy Williams, I'm so mad at her for saying, well, you knew what you were getting into, Meghan. Don't be asking us to feel sorry for you. Did you see that?
Yeah, that's horrible.
That was horrible. Because a lot of people think they know what fame is going to be like, and they think they know what being a bazillionaire is going to be like. They don't know the truth until they get in it. You know, a lot of billionaires, they have to hire round-the-clock security. They have to keep their children's whereabouts secret all the time and have guards following their kids because of the kidnapping threats. So sometimes when a billionaire might be having a bad day and complaining and we're all like, boo-hoo, you're a billionaire. Everything comes with its own set of problems, even being a member of the royal family.
Mm-hmm.
So I was just spitting mad at Wendy Williams for that. I take up for Meghan Markle. I like her a lot. I'm rooting for her. And I'm so excited that they're going to get a 6-week break. Alan could not care less about the royal family right now, y'all, but y'all have to give me a minute on this. I'm really excited.
I'm listening.
She's taking 6 weeks off, her and Harry, and they are bringing baby Archie to the United States. They're going to spend Thanksgiving with her mother, Dorothea Ragland, in L.A., or the suburbs. I'm not really sure if she lives in the city proper. And they're going to have a traditional Thanksgiving with him because she is American and she wants him to know about the American traditions. They don't have Thanksgiving in England, obviously, because we left England and we were so thankful we had a holiday for it. And then they're going to go back to England because they have to satisfy the Queen and be with her for Christmas. Isn't that exciting?
Well, I can tell you're enthusiastic about it. Yeah.
Sam from New Zealand brought me a whole book on royal weddings.
Oh, that's nice.
So nice. And it was written right after Meghan and Harry got engaged, before they got married. So it's up to that point. I'm loving it. Thank you, Sam. But, you know, I love Meghan Markle and I want everybody to love her as much as I do, including my husband.
I mean, I'm kind of lukewarm on the royal family. I mean, I take them or leave them. It doesn't really matter too much to me.
It's just like a real life fairy tale.
Yeah.
It's like the real life stuff you read in the books, but it's real life.
I don't dislike them, but I don't have a real vested interest in them either.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
Is that a bad thing? Some people, I mean, I feel that way about certain like Real Housewives shows and certain reality shows, but the royal family's mine.
I mean, when Chuck and Diana got married, I think I watched that as a kid.
I woke up in the middle of the night and watched that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did that for Fergie and Andrew as well.
Well, I probably did because my parents were interested.
Who Andrew is turning out to be a horrible man.
Lewd?
Yes.
Really?
Who's that man that hanged himself in? The guy, the Feinstein guy that hanged himself.
Oh, Jeffrey Feinstein? Yeah.
Yeah, who had all these young girls that were basically sex slaves. Prince Andrew was one of his buddies, and one of the girls that got out of this, she was like one of the sex slaves. She goes, "Yeah, I was with Andrew."
You got to be kidding
me.
And
the palace is backing him up. Yeah, and she's like, "I got proof and stuff," but the palace is protecting him. That's the dark side of the royal family.
Is this gossip or is this true?
It's in the press. I mean, I'm just repeating.
Jeez.
I'm not starting it. I'm just repeating it.
That's messed up.
Back to Meghan Markle, who makes me very happy. I want her to be happy. I want little baby Archie to be happy. He looks just like his daddy, Prince Harry. And, you know, whenever Meghan Markle wears stuff, people pay attention. They want to know, you know, what lipstick shade she's wearing. They want to know what nail polish she's wearing, what clothes, what shoes. And I'll tell you, one of the brands that Meghan Markle loves is Rothy's.
Rothy's?
Yep. She was wearing some of their shoes when she and Prince Harry, I think they hadn't gotten married yet. I think they were doing a tour before the royal wedding. Or was she pregnant? I'm trying to remember because I remember the scene. She might have been pregnant. Anyway, she's wearing these cute little pointy toe flats. And I'm like, Meghan Markle and I have the same taste because my first pair of Rothy's were pointy toe flats. I got the red camo because I wear so much camo. I was like, I got to shake it up a bit with this olive drab. I want the red camo. But Rothy's, they keep expanding their color palettes and patterns. They keep expanding their styles. Now they have the slip-on sneaker, which I practically live in addition to my red camo. And the thing about fashionable shoes, ladies, we are needing comfortable flats because these high heels are killing us. High heels make your leg look great and all that. We want to look cute in our shoes. So how do you find a flat that is just as stylish as a heel, that you feel just as good about wearing in, as far as the way it looks, but your feet aren't bleeding at the end of the day? That's Rothy's. Rothy's are made out of recycled water bottles. I don't know how they do it, but because of that technology, you don't have to break them in. You put them on, they're comfortable from the word go. And let's just say you step in a big mud puddle or something, you can just throw them in the washing machine. Rothy's are awesome. And they, like I said, they keep adding new styles and patterns. So if you haven't been to the Rothy's website in a while, you need to go back. Because once you have a pair of Rothy's, what do you want? More Rothy's.
You want more Rothy's, and you can get more Rothy's by checking out all the amazing styles available right now at rothys.com/sandwich. Go to rothys.com/sandwich rothys.com. That's rothys.com/sandwich to get your new favorite flats. Comfort, style, and sustainability.
Yes.
These are the shoes you've been waiting for. Head to rothys.com/sandwich today. Love Rothys.
Thank you for letting me talk about the Royals for a minute.
Oh, of course, man.
So real quick, because I do have to wrap things up because I've got to go get dressed.
We're going to bring it home for Jerome.
But we did say we were going to, the very first thing out of the podcast, I said something about how sarcasm is lost. I'm just going to address this very quickly because it bothered me, and I shouldn't have let it bother me as much as it did, because what happened was I got engaged with the woman who made the comment and went back and forth. And you know what? At the end of the day, she's standing in her position. I'm standing in mine. And I'm like, well, there you go. I can't convince you. Otherwise, what am I going to do?
You will not win an argument on
gonna
social
win.
media.
But what I have found is that people love to steal joy. And
absolutely.
I don't know what that is. I don't know why it is. People want to rain on people's parade.
Mm-hmm.
So Emma, Kellie, and me, we had a launch party last week, and thankfully, we have someone that was helping us plan the party who planted the seeds with a couple of media outlets and said, hey, if you want to talk to Kellie, she's happy to talk about launching this venture. She wants to do it with her daughter. So this lovely lady named Sarah, I don't have her last name in front of me right now. I hate that. But she works for the Dallas Morning News as well as NBC5 locally. And she was so nice. She was on her way to a girls' weekend, and we did a phone interview. It was great. She wrote a lovely article. Thank you so much, Sarah. So they posted it on Facebook, the link to it. And everybody's being so nice, so nice, so nice. And it's like, yay, everybody likes the article. I'm so happy. And then you get the little dig, like, Kellie's snobby in person. I don't like her, and I quit listening because of her. Mm-hmm. And then somebody else said, how dare we continue to do the Kid Craddock show, keeping his name, that we were all riding his coattails and could never have survived without doing a show on our own. Sticking it. It's just a nice article. And then you get this is newsworthy. This is news. They have fluff pieces at the end of every newscast, right? So this was just a fluff piece. Mm-hmm. It's not groundbreaking or shattering. It was just a fluff piece. So I got that.
It's a local human interest story.
It's a human interest story from someone who's been in the Dallas market for 25 years and is now doing something different.
Right, but you got a bunch of a-holes out there that got to say something negative about everything.
People are unhappy and they're spreading their misery. So this should have been like a really feel-good thing. And then this is where it got me. This one woman said that she stopped listening to the show because of me. And she said, well, it's really nice you've had a change of heart, because what you said 20 years ago, I stopped listening to the show when you said that women need to stay at home and raise their babies and they shouldn't be working.
You would never say something like that.
Never
and
say
if you
that.
did, if you said something like that, it would have been a drop, like in jest, and they would have
maybe it was sarcasm.
Yeah, and they would have replayed it. But that's not something you say,
because they have played stuff that when we have on the radio, they'll play stuff of me taken out of context.
Right.
That sounds horrible.
Right.
And I've even had to go to them. I say, look, that drop about whatever it is, I'm like, it sounds really offensive, because when you just take out that little bit and there's nothing else around it, and if everybody wasn't listening that day, they don't know that was being sarcastic. Can you please remove that? And they usually do. Sometimes they're like, no, it's too funny. Okay, fine. So I told this woman, you're going back 20 years, but I never said that, because that's not the feeling in my heart. I don't believe that. So why would I say something I never have believed? Now, I am 100% for a woman's right to stay home. If she is in the financial position and her husband, her partner says, you stay home and raise the babies, because that is a job in itself. You're raising up these babies to be great. I am so on board. I'd love to be able to do that. But no, I wouldn't, honestly. I would go nuts. I'm not built to be a stay-at-home mom. I like having a career. I like having some place to go every day to get showered. And, I need a job. So why would I say something that I truly don't believe, unless, like Alan said, I was being sarcastic. Maybe somebody called in and I'm like, yeah, well, you need to stay home and raise your babies. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's what you need to do. Right?
Save that.
But this woman, exactly. Save that. And then that becomes a joke that people play on me. So this woman is absolutely convinced I said it, that I'm a horrible, but no, my mother loved you and you've obviously changed and I'm sure it's fine now. But at the time it really hurt me because I had to work and I had enough guilt leaving my baby at home without having to hear you say that I need to stay home with my baby. I'm like, ma'am, you might have thought you were listening to me, because this happens a lot too. People will call in and they'll be mad, or not even mad. They'll say, "Hey, you were talking about that pool repair company on the radio this morning. I didn't catch the name of that." I'm like, "Honey, that wasn't us. That was another radio show. You probably thought you were, because people change the dials. Maybe you thought Dr. Laura Schlesinger was me, because that's what Dr. Laura says. Stay home and raise your babies." But that's not what Kellie Rantberry says. So I got really upset about that because there was no denying or no convincing her I didn't say it, number one. She went on a public forum and said I said it. So a lot of people are going to read that and believe her that I said that. And I didn't say it.
Right.
That's my frustration. And I don't need to go into it any more than that. But you know what? Here's what I learned from that. I should have just left it alone.
Yeah.
I shouldn't have commented. I shouldn't have said anything, because she still believes I said it, and there is no convincing her otherwise. So there's that. But I still felt like I needed to defend myself.
Yeah, it's the thing I always think about whenever you see something like that on social media, and I've gotten that too about different things that are just totally either untrue or just ridiculous because people don't know the entire situation or story, or they're just being idiots.
Half here.
Yeah, they're just being idiots. It's like when you see something political online and you may not agree with it, but if you get in the middle of that and try to debate that, you're just not going to win. It's going to make you feel worse. It's going to make you feel awful. And there's no way to convince that person online that you're right and they're wrong. It's just not going to happen.
Yeah. So
just don't even engage.
I know that was my mistake. But then again, it's like, man, I wanted to stick up for myself.
And just send them
and then I don't feel bad, and I didn't feel good afterwards.
And then just send them to freaking block purgatory. That's what I do.
But it wasn't on. Well, I guess I could have, but it wasn't on my
sure
side. It was on somebody else's side. I don't know how that part works.
You can still block them.
Well, anyway, honey, I'm glad I got that off my chest yet again.
Mm-hmm.
But I've got to go get ready for this FGI event. I'm very excited. Thank you for helping me with my questions. I got to go put on a bra and something, and I got to go.
Okay, babe.
But I love you desperately.
Love you desperately. I know you're going to do a great job.
Thank you. I just don't want to be late.
Yeah, you won't be late.
I'm pushing it right now.
Yeah, so we'll get going now. But yeah, good luck. I love you.
I love you.
You'll do great. And I love our listeners desperately. But we'll podcast again real soon. I know it. And in the immortal words of the great Keanu Reeves, life is good when you have a good sandwich.